magical star beings, this is Psychic Siren Tarot and welcome to the channel. In today's reading we're going to be taking a look at the person on your mind and what they like about you that you may not like within yourself or that you may not like about yourself. So take a look at all the piles with the person in your mind and see which one you are most drawn to. For pile number 1 we have the crystal green opal and we're going to be using the Muse tarot deck. For pile number 2, we have the Tiger's Eye crystal, and we're going to be using the Crystal Magic tarot deck. And for pile number 3, we have the Crystal Larimar, and we're going to be using the Chrysalis tarot. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. Pick whichever pile you're most drawn to, the one that is calling out to your soul the most, and that will be a pile for today. But of course, if you're drawn to more than one pile, there may be more messages there for you. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I'll see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number 1s. If you chose this green opal crystal and the Muse tarot, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at the person on your mind and what they like about you that you may not like about yourself. So please be aware this is a general reading, only take what resonates, leave the rest. But before we get started with your reading, I'd just like to thank and give a quick word to today's sponsorship, Keen. Many of you have asked me recently for personal readings, but unfortunately I'm not available for any right now. So I have brought you the next best thing, Keen. Keen connects you with gifted psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers like myself who are available 24 hours a day. So you can always get a reading whenever it suits you. All you have to do is create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. These readers each have unique specialties designed to provide a deeper understanding of your situation. You can choose whichever reader best suits your needs, and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. Getting confirmation or a second opinion from someone who can give you a straightforward answer is always best. And as a tarot reader, I can tell you that it is very hard reading tarot for myself sometimes, as sometimes it doesn't make sense or is unclear. So even I resort to Keen. So let me tell you a little bit about some of my recent experience on Keen. I asked about my love life with my person. She explained to me how devoted he is and that our connection is only getting stronger and better, helping us to build a strong foundation that will only deepen moving into the holidays. She also mentioned us making future plans together no later than February, lol. But we've already started, so I'm very excited to see what unfolds then. She also mentioned that he's very loyal towards the ones he loves and that he doesn't even know what he did to get so lucky to be with me. She mentioned that I changed his world and that he feels like a little kid around me, which is so cute. Lastly, she said that she can see me getting married with him in the future and us having a home together where everyone will always gather together. The love reading I got was very beautiful and sweet, and every detail mentioned was so accurate and on point. Though you can get any type of reading from these readers depending on what you are looking for. I'm so grateful for the reading I got from Keen through their amazing and gifted psychic tarot readers. That's why it's still best to get a personal psychic reading because it is directed only to your energies. Now here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 10 minutes for only $1.99. Go to trykeen.com/psychicsciencetarot or click the link in my description to save big on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this beautiful opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychicsciencetarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So getting back to your reading, it is now 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock. So there's something here about progress, learning to do certain things. We'll get into the cards. Let me first see what the cards have to show. Okay, so we're going to start out with the oracle cards and then we're going to use the tarot deck that you chose. So we're starting out with the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle. So spirit guides of my pile number 1s. Spirit guides on my pile number 1s. May I please tap into the person on their mind and what they like about pile number ones that pile number one may not like about themselves. Feel this card. So we have Azurite, Saturn, and Discipline, card 30. Interesting. At the back of the deck, we have Red Jasper with Eteman Star and Conviction. Okay, and now we're going to be using the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle deck, so Spirit Guides of my pile number ones. Can we, there's 3 cards here. I'm just going to take one, but I'll show you the other 2. Otherwise, we won't have space. We have the Bard with Music, Poetry, Myth, History, and the Enchantment of Storytelling, card 7. Okay, we have Death, and we have Burden. So what I take from these 2 is death could be certain things that have ended in your life. Creative projects wants to pop out. So some of you are creative, but maybe you don't like your own way of doing creativity, or sometimes you'll do something and it won't turn out in a way where you like it, but then this person likes what it is you create. I'm just going to put these 2 extra cards on the side and keep it in mind. So at the back of the deck, we have the Cat with Independence and Healthy Boundaries. Okay, so now we're going to use the Good Tarot as an oracle deck. Can I please have 1 card for what their person likes about them that they may not like about themselves? We have the King of Fire. At the back of the deck, we have the 5 of Water. And now we're going to use 1 card from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot as an oracle deck as well. So what they may not like about themselves, but their person likes. So we have the 4 of Fire, 4 of Wands. And at the back of the deck, we have the 3 of Wands. Okay, so now let's use the tarot deck that you chose. So, Spirit Guides of Pile 1, what they may not like about themselves, but their person likes. So we have the 3 of Cups in reverse. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have the 7 of Wands. We have the 9 of Swords in the reverse. We have the 8 of Swords in reverse. We have the World Cosmos. We have the Muse of Materials, which is the King of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. We have the 8 of Pentacles. And lastly, we have the Queen of Cups. At the back of the deck, we have the 2 of Cups. So some of you may be asking about a romantic partner or situationship or a crush. But it doesn't have to be for all of you. Okay, so what I pick up in your reading firstly is certain talents you have or certain things you want to try. Like certain things you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be creativity for everyone. But creativity is an example of this energy. So let's say someone here writes music, for example. Doesn't have to be, we're just using this as an example. And you're writing, and maybe you want to scrap it because you perceive it as not good or not good enough. And then this person sees what you wrote or hears a little bit of that song and finds it such a good song, but maybe you don't see what they're seeing in it. Does that make sense? But even certain things where you're learning to do something, like let's say you take up art class and you're not good at art yet, but you're learning to do it with 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock. So you're learning to do it, but you're progressing, but maybe you still, like perceive yourself as a little bit of a beginner where you don't fully see the progress you have already made or you can make in certain hobbies, in certain things you want to do, or certain creative aspects, even certain talents you have where, like, let's say you do something and you may perceive it as you're not talented at it, but this person perceives you as so talented and so passionate at what it is you do, and that your talent can create a lot of luck for you and a lot of celebrations for you. But you may not fully see it with the Eight of Swords in reverse. You may not fully see what they see, the potential they see in you. I can even use me as an example. Sometimes I do readings and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was such a bad reading. But then people will comment things like, oh, that was such a good reading, blah, 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 blah. It's that type of energy. And I've seen this in certain creative people where they don't exactly see the work they do as good, but then other people see it and really love it. So if you relate to that, then this is your pile, but it doesn't have to be creative, like I mentioned. It can be certain hobbies, certain talents you have where you don't see how really talented you are. Maybe you like some of the work you do, but you don't fully see the potential that they see in you. Okay? Another thing I'm picking up on here is Eight of Swords reverse tells me some of these things are things you're not really aware of in yourself, or you don't really see what they see. But it can change around with the world cosmos next to it. Since it's in reverse, maybe this reading is bringing light to certain things because we have fire here. And it's like right opposite each other almost. So it's giving me the vibe of like whatever this reading is, it's going to bring light to certain things to make you aware of it, to make you change the energy around and that cycle of not seeing that within yourself. Okay, so there's certain things you're talented at that this person sees a talent, but you don't. Okay, I don't know what this is. It's going to be different for all of you. Secondly, we have Saturn here with discipline. I see someone here that is very much in this energy of cleanliness where you want things to be in order. It's not going to resonate with everyone, but just for some here, where you want things to be in order, where you want things to be clean. Some of you may even have OCD or say that you have OCD. I don't know. I'm not a medical professional, but I just heard that from Spirit. So maybe that's something you dislike about yourself, like the need to keep everything clean and everything neat and tidy and everything in a place. I'm seeing some of you maybe need to have things organized in a specific order or by color. Like I'm seeing closets, or I'm seeing the kitchen. It needs to be ordered or labeled or something like that. So I'm picking up on that for some of you, like maybe that's a trait you dislike in yourself, but this person really likes that about you, likes that you have things in order, likes that you're put together, likes that you're neat and clean and tidy, okay? For others of you, it could be the opposite. If you're someone like really messy, maybe you dislike that about yourself. Like I certainly remember times in school when like my room was messy and then my friends come over and I'm like, sorry, it's so messy. I don't know if some of you can relate, but it could also be the opposite energy where maybe you feel like you're not disciplined enough within these small tasks, because maybe for some of you it's so mundane, or I'm hearing maybe some of you like struggle with keeping things in order or keeping things tidy or organized. Maybe some of you struggle with organization skills, but maybe this person finds it cute about you. I don't know. Or maybe some of you, it's not even about that, but maybe for some of you, you believe you're too disciplined, where you believe you have to almost like get things done and be really busy and really master certain things. With the Knight of Swords in reverse, I'm getting the impression for some of you, it's like this type of feeling where I can't rush through a project, or I can't rush through a task. It needs to be done right. And even if it takes a little bit more time, it needs to be done right with the Eight of Pentacles. And it needs to almost, maybe some of you have a certain type of perfectionism to you. Maybe not all, but some, but it has to be done right. And if it doesn't, it's going to make me anxious. And like, that's the feeling I get here for some of you. Or maybe some of you are a little bit of workaholics, or you're just so disciplined that maybe sometimes it takes away from your social life with the Three of Cups in reverse, where you can't necessarily always be out and about with people, where you're so focused and determined on your work or your goals or your physical health or your home, where maybe it takes away from some of your social life or some fun. And maybe it makes you anxious if you don't do it. For some of you, and I guess this person could, if you don't like that trait about you, this person could find that a good thing in a sense where they look at it from another perspective of you're so determined, you're so disciplined, you get things done, you have your life together. And because of that, this person sees you having potential to get many blessings within this lifetime in which whatever it is you're focusing on. Okay, for some of you, it's the opposite energy, where maybe you believe you're not disciplined enough, or maybe you believe that you don't work hard enough, or that you, maybe some of you struggle with procrastination, or maybe you do work hard enough, but maybe some of the work you do, it's like this feeling of, what if it's not good enough? Or I have to put in more because what if it's not good enough? Or feeling like almost a sense of imposter syndrome for some of you, or a fear of success or a fear of failure that causes like maybe procrastination or self-sabotage, I'm hearing. Remember, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just reading the energies here, so keep that in mind. But I really feel like some of you may deal with that, where you believe you're not disciplined enough, where you believe you're maybe too free-spirited. But I don't think that's the case for this person. I think this person almost sees it, like I said, in a different perspective for you, where they see it in a way where you're so free, where you don't have to worry about getting everything done and making everything on time and perfect and put together, and that if you do take some time off to rest, it's not the end of the world. You know, if you're tired and if you don't have the motivation, it's like this person sees it in the perspective of rather let that wave take you where it needs to take you. I think that's something Lexi the Leo always says. I don't know why, I just heard it. But it's like rather let yourself ride that wave, rather than fight against it. And then when you do have motivation, then you flow with that instead of force yourself to do something you don't feel like doing. But I get that there could be a balance here, because sometimes we have to do tasks. Sometimes we have to do the mundane tasks. Otherwise, it builds up. So I guess I see both perspectives. I see your perspective and theirs. But it's like this person views it as maybe you have more of a free spirit where you're not too focused on the mundane tasks, where it doesn't mean you're not disciplined. It just means you want to focus on more things that make you passionate, that build passion and fire within you. So how can we work with that energy and focus on things that do make us passionate so that it breathes life into us? And then we will have more energy for the mundane tasks after. Does that make sense? Because when we focus on certain things that are perceived as boring to us, and we can't complete it because it just feels like, ugh, then it's draining, you know what I mean? But if you focus on certain things that breathe life and breathe passion within you, then you take that passion and then you can do those things and have fun while doing it, the mundane. So I'm seeing that. And maybe some of you, it's not even just work or tasks. It could be like maybe you don't believe you're disciplined enough in your physical health or fitness, or maybe you don't believe you're disciplined enough in your actual work or your goals or the things you want to achieve. I don't know. For all of you, it could be different. So just take it as it resonates. With Saturn as well, I'm getting maybe some of you have experienced really harsh life lessons within this lifetime. And it's like maybe you perceive those past situations as so harsh, and even thinking about it brings anxiety or brings this feeling of the stagnation or the stuckness you once felt that you're now coming out of. I'm hearing some of you went through a dark night of the soul where you experienced a lot of triggers that eventually caused an evolution and transformation, but it was very hard to find the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm getting maybe some of you felt stagnant or stuck at one place at some point in time and felt like whatever work you were doing wasn't getting results, whatever you was trying to do to get out of the stuckness wasn't working. But then I feel at some point, Saturn is a planet of lessons, so I feel like at some point maybe it taught you something, and then once you learned that lesson, the cycle ended and things became a lot more easier. I don't want to say. I don't know why I said a lot much easier. But yeah, like maybe for some of you, it's lessons around patience. Maybe for some of you, it's lessons around determination. Maybe for some of you, it's lessons around healing. I don't know. It could be different for all of you, but I'm getting whatever you went through in life, you haven't exactly had an easy life. And maybe in some way you don't like that life you once lived, where it was not easy, where it was really hard. Because Saturn is hard. Saturn is not an easy process. It's like Spirit is showing me a game, and you're clicking on the challenging game, the hard game. And it's so challenging that it feels like, are we ever going to win? But eventually you did make it through, or you are making it through eventually. And here we see a pearl in the shell. So it's going to create something out of you. This is how your person perceives it. It's creating wisdom within you, one. Two, it's creating knowledge, patience, and valuable life lessons within you that you will appreciate in the future, because life is not without challenges. And sometimes even I want life to be a little bit more easier, but I guess that's not always the way Earth works. I don't know. Maybe some of you have prominent Saturn placements like Aquarius or Capricorn, or like Saturn in your first house, or Saturn in prominent houses. I don't know. Or like an Aquarius or Capricorn rising. That's just for some of you. Though what I will say is, with Saturn showing up here, karma doesn't play with you. Like people, if they backstab you or if they do something wrong to you, and even if you don't see it in the moment, it will be revealed to you always, and they will get karma. Like Saturn doesn't play with you. Although Saturn gives you harsh life lessons, there's also karma that comes easily to those that hurt you or mistreat you. Something kind of distracted me there. Maybe some of you easily lose focus or get distracted easily, and that's maybe something you don't necessarily like. I'm only saying this because I have ADHD, but I don't know. I feel the energy, like maybe some of you struggle with that, but I'm not a medical professional, like I said earlier. I only know the energy because I have it. So anyways, what I was saying here was, although Saturn disciplines you and teaches you harsh lessons, it can reward you in the end. And if you haven't gone through your Saturn return yet, and you learn those lessons before the Saturn return, maybe check out what Saturn is in your birth chart. But if you learn those lessons before your Saturn return, which is when you're about 30 or so, I don't know exactly, I'm not an astrologist, but I just know some bits and pieces. It rewards you after you learn those lessons. Okay, so that's what I want to say here. And since you're showing up as Saturn here, I think you can't get away with doing wrong things to people, which I don't think you'd even try. Because I mean, you're showing up as the Queen of Cups. I think you care too much to do that. But also your gratitude and your generosity gets rewarded by Saturn. So that's what I want to say here. Maybe some of you believe that you're too generous to people, or believe that you give too much, or that you love too hard, or that you feel too deeply. That's something I see here. I'm hearing a plane go by. I'll talk about that in a bit. But maybe some of you believe that you're too much of a giver, or that you love too hard, or that you care too much. Kind of reminds me of that song, Always Lone by Men I Trust, where she says something like, I always care too much. And she doesn't care for playing games with people. That she'd rather be the one that got played than play the game. Some of you may believe that you also feel things too deeply. That you may love too hard, that you may care too much, and that's actually a trait this person loves within you. They love that you're such a caring person. They love that you have such a big heart, that you're so empathetic and compassionate. Some of you may even believe you're empathetic and compassionate to those that don't deserve it. But it's like this person sees it as beautiful. Some of you may not like the fact that you have dealt with certain anxieties or certain worries. And like with the Seven of Wands, we see this woman pushing it away. So 9 of Swords reverse, 7 of Wands. I'm getting this energy of like pushing it away, not wanting to feel into that, or not wanting to admit that, but take it as it resonates. But what I see here is, and one thing I've recently learned is, if we can have an imagination that is so vast that it makes us worry and have anxiety and think of the worst possible outcome. And this is not to invalidate your feelings, of course, because I deal with anxiety too, and sometimes it's really hard to get through. So I know how it feels, but what I've learned recently, and you can take this on, you don't have to, but if our imagination is so vast, it can think of the worst possible scenarios and outcomes and make us, almost fear that. Then imagine how powerful our minds are, that it can invoke a feeling from what we imagine or what we perceive. So if your imagination and your mind is so great, it can induce a feeling within you, then how can we change that around and induce other feelings within us with our imagination and maybe even creativity here? And also what I will say is, sometimes fear can be helpful, sometimes it's not. We have to learn when it's not and when it is. Just like, I don't know, Spirit is showing me, when you're younger and you don't take the chicken out of the freezer when your mom tells you. I'm sure some of you could relate to that. And then you hear the car and then you get that instant fear. Like, that's helpful fear, because that shows you maybe where we didn't listen or where we did something wrong, or you get what I mean? Or if we fear failing a test if we don't study, that fear is maybe healthy, because we can learn from that to do what we need to do to not let that fear become a reality. Does that make sense? But some fears are unnecessary to our brain. I don't know what this is, why this is showing up here, or why you dislike this within yourself. And I guess it's understandable. Maybe some of you also deal with social anxiety, but it's like the way your person sees it is you're just such a gentle soul that feels things so deeply. And it's almost like they want to protect you and almost like soothe you so that you no longer feel that. But why is this something they like, Spirit? Okay, so the way this person sees it is you're a lot of fun to be around, and they just don't see why. It's not that they like the anxiety within you, but they just don't like see. Of course, this is not to invalidate, but it's like they just don't see why there is a need to be like anxious of talking to people or being around people, because it's like the way this person perceives you is you're a lot of fun to be around and anyone would love you, anyone would like you. You know what I mean? Maybe some of you are a little bit more unique or have like a quirkier side to you. And maybe that's something, you've been told by certain people to not show to the world. But what I believe and what this person believes is that you just being you is enough, that the right people will like those qualities and traits to you and gravitate towards you, rather than finding people that only like a fake version of us that we put out, you know? So the way this person sees it is it's better to let those people go, let those trash people go, because they're not appreciating you for you, so they're not meant to be in your life. And let the people that do appreciate those traits within you gravitate towards you, because the way this person sees you is you're a lot of fun to be around, you're a celebration to be around. And Spirit is showing me like an ice cream truck, and you know how like when someone offers ice cream or food and they're like no, and then they're like okay, more for me. It's like this person's like more for me, like I get to spend more time around you. That's for those that struggle with like outside connections to people, like friendships and things. For others of you, why is the anxiety showing up in this pile? Okay, so Spirit is showing me like for some of you it may be something that induces a feeling of shame or induces a feeling of like wanting to push this away. But the way this person sees it is that's nothing to be shameful about. The way this person sees it is most people get this feeling, and again, not to invalidate your feelings. I'm just talking and reading the energy from this person's perspective. It's like they see it like most people have it, but most people can't admit it or can't say that they have it. Because as humans, when we look at our ancestors and our DNA and how there was an experiment they did on rats where they made the rats smell something. I don't remember the exact story of the experiment, but Spirit is showing it to me. And they made the rat fear whenever they smelled that scent, and then they let those rats have babies. And they didn't do anything to their babies, but then when they gave the babies that scent, they would also fear it, even though nothing was done to them. And then they did a separate test where they created the babies in a lab instead of from the womb from the rat. I don't know like what to call it. I'm not a scientist. And then those little babies also feared that scent, even though nothing happened to them. So when we think of our ancestors and back in the day when they used to hunt for food and be scared of the animals, in some way, shape, or form, the human brain is made to fear and made to worry. So it's like the way this person sees it is like sometimes people deal with it, but they don't admit that they deal with it. You're strong enough to admit that, and you're strong enough to face that It's like this person doesn't see it as weak. They see it as you're strong enough to face that. I don't know if this person's religious, but I was hearing like God will only give you challenges if he believes you're strong enough to deal with it. I know not everyone here is religious, but that's kind of what I heard from this person's perspective for some of you, or the universe, or whatever you believe in, whatever higher power. But it's like this person sees you being someone so deep and emotional as a strength. Because to be able to feel is to be able to be human. And it's a strength to feel, because most people run from their emotions, you know? Maybe some of you believe your ambitiousness is not a nice trait. A quality of like wanting financial stability and wanting financial freedom and material blessings within your life, with the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. But this person perceives it in a different way. And I perceive it like, okay, we're humans. Yes, we're living a human existence. And this human existence consists of physical things. And you know how capitalism has brainwashed all of us. Money makes the world go round. And it's brainwashed all of us to be consumers. And that's not necessarily something like, yes, we can go live off the grid and do all those things, but like, we're meant to be living human existences. We're spiritual beings living human existences. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, we can't really run away from the human existence. And wanting physical things is not a bad trait as long as it's balanced and it doesn't become something where we're not, having gratitude or satisfied with the things we do have. Like if we just want more and more and more and more. Do you get what I mean? So I don't know. That's how I see this. Whereas some of you, maybe it's like you don't like how grounded and rational you are. But maybe this person likes that within you. Okay, last thing I'm seeing here. Well, maybe there's some more things. Okay, last thing I see in the cards. I saw some visions earlier. So, King of Fire, Four of Wands makes me feel like maybe some of you are like the types of people that want more of a relationship type of love, more of a serious commitment type of love. And maybe that's something you never liked in yourself before, because I mean, society has such a hookup culture norm now that it's like it's deemed unnormal or not normal. I don't think unnormal is a word. It's deemed not normal to want marriage or to want relationships, because I'm looking at the heart here in the King of Wands, and Four of Wands sometimes can represent commitment or marriage. So maybe that's something you don't like within yourself, or that you only want serious relationships. But it's like this person sees it as that is true love. That is true love. Sometimes as humans we forget, and it's not to say hookup culture shouldn't be there, because to each their own, but it's like, if you want serious relationships and that empowers you, then that's what empowers you, that's what makes you feel loved. If someone wants more casual dating and they're not ready, that's good for them. We're all different, and I think this is how this person sees it. For some of you, I'm getting the vibe too with the King of Wands and Four of Wands. Like, you may have gotten excited about certain things you're passionate about that are deemed quote unquote weird, or deemed quote unquote different than what people mostly like. Or maybe sometimes you get so excited about something and you talk a lot and you share that with those you love. And maybe you've had certain people around you put you down for that, or try to make you not get excited about that, or not, have fun about that. Or maybe sometimes, you've had fun where you're just being free and you're dancing, or you're just being silly and then people have maybe judged you for that. So if that's something you have pushed down, it's like this person wants you to let that out more with them and with others because, like I said, those that love you for you are going to want to hear about the things you get excited about, are going to want to see you have fun and enjoy the little things and be a little bit more free and lighthearted and silly. And those that love you, even if they don't have an interest in a certain hobby or a certain thing you like, those that truly love you will want to hear about that. So that's what I see here. And I saw a vision of my sister. And like, I don't know, maybe some of you are like my sister where she likes anime and K-pop and all those things. And I still listen to her even if I don't have an interest in it. People you love do that. Like me, I love tarot. Some people around me aren't spiritual, but they still listen to me if I talk about it because I like it. Do you get what I mean? So I see that. I'm hearing a plane again. Maybe some of you are just very free-spirited where you want to travel the world. And maybe that's something you don't necessarily like within yourself, or maybe some of you travel a lot for work. And that's maybe something you don't like about yourself, but this person does. This person sees it as you get to see the whole world. Like, that's such a beautiful thing. I saw jewelry, watches, so maybe certain things you wear. It doesn't have to be jewelry or watches, like maybe your fashion style, maybe you don't like it as much, or maybe some physical things like your hair, your makeup. I was seeing furniture in the home, like maybe some things you don't like about that, but then other people like it or this person likes it. And then I was also hearing the name Khadija for one of you. It's not going to resonate for everyone. And then I was seeing Where You Are, the music video by Pink Panthers, but I saw 222 like while I saw that vision. So what I take from that is not necessarily the lyrics from the song, but where you are. So maybe some of you believe that you should be further along in life, or that you should be someplace else, or that, yeah, like maybe you believe you should be further along in life, but it's like this person sees it as everything happens within its own time. So for example, if you're at an older age and you're still looking for love, this person believes that the one you love will find you and that no age is too great to look for something. I watched an Instagram reel the other day, a few weeks ago, where it's like some, become millionaires at a young age, but then they search for love until they're in their 30s or 40s. Some get love early, but then they search for riches and wealth and success until they're in their 50s. We all have our own timeline, and maybe that's where Saturn energy ties in as well. Like, we all have our own timeline. We all have our own quote unquote divine timing for when the time is right to receive something in our lives. And it's not necessarily something we should be ashamed of or dislike. And of course, maybe I don't fully understand it, or maybe even some of you are younger, it's okay, but it's like maybe you believe you should be further along, but this person sees it as where you are right now, you're progressing, you're moving forward, one, and two, everything happens within its own time. And you may not see that right now, but you may see later on, like, oh, this is why this took time to come in, because maybe the universe was preparing me for this, or maybe I needed more knowledge here before I could go here. Does that make sense? So that's what I see here. So this is what I have for you. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pile number twos. If you chose this Tiger's Eye Crystal and the Crystal Magic Tarot, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what you may not like about yourself, but your person likes within you. Okay, so please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. But before we get started with your reading, I'd just like to thank and give a quick word to today's sponsorship, Keen. Many of you have asked me recently for personal readings, but unfortunately I'm not available for any right now. So I have brought you the next best thing, Keen. Keen connects you with gifted psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers like myself who are available 24 hours a day. So you can always get a reading whenever it suits you. All you have to do is create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. These readers each have unique specialties designed to provide a deeper understanding of your situation. You can choose whichever reader best suits your needs, and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. Getting confirmation or a second opinion from someone who can give you a straightforward answer is always best. And as a tarot reader, I can tell you that it is very hard reading tarot for myself sometimes, as sometimes it doesn't make sense or is unclear. So even I resort to Keen. So let me tell you a little bit about some of my recent experience on Keen. I asked about my love life with my person. She explained to me how devoted he is and that our connection is only getting stronger and better, helping us to build a strong foundation that will only deepen moving into the holidays. She also mentioned us making future plans together no later than February, lol. But we've already started, so I'm very excited to see what unfolds then. She also mentioned that he's very loyal towards the ones he loves and that he doesn't even know what he did to get so lucky to be with me. She mentioned that I changed his world and that he feels like a little kid around me, which is so cute. Lastly, she said that she can see me getting married with him in the future and us having a home together where everyone will always gather together. The love reading I got was very beautiful and sweet, and every detail mentioned was so accurate and on point. Though you can get any type of reading from these readers depending on what you are looking for. I'm so grateful for the reading I got from Keen through their amazing and gifted psychic tarot readers. That's why it's still best to get a personal psychic reading because it is directed only to your energies. Now here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 10 minutes for only $1.99. Go to trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description to save big on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this beautiful opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So getting back to your reading, we're going to start out by using your oracle cards. So let's use this first, the Astral Realms Oracle. So Spirit Guides on my pile number 2s. Spirit Guides on my pile number 2s. Okay, you already have a card. So we have Super 7 with Alrisha Star and Direction, card 20. At the back of the deck, we have Malachite with Uranus. I don't know how to say that word. Okay, now we're going to use the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle deck. So what they may not like within themselves, but their person likes, the person on their mind. So we have the Swan with Transformation, Trusting the Psychic Gifts, card 12. Okay, at the back of the deck, we have the Horse with Accepting Help from Another and Delegating Authority. Now we're going to use the Good Tarot as an oracle deck. So what they may not like about themselves, but the person on their mind likes. So we have the Messenger of Air. And we have the Ten of Earth at the back of the deck. And now lastly, we're going to use this Dreams of Gaia Tarot as an oracle deck too. And then we're going to use your tarot cards that you chose. So what they may not like about themselves, but their person likes. So we have love. Interesting. When I started your reading, I had tears come out of my eyes, but I'm not sad. So for some of you, it's body and mind wants to pop out. For some of you, it's this feeling of maybe feeling things so much or being, a really sensitive soul in some way. Maybe that's a trait you don't necessarily like in yourself. But I think this person loves that about you. Loves that you feel things so deeply. Because that makes you you. And to feel is to be able to be human, because when we look at feelings, even the negative feelings, if we didn't have them, we wouldn't truly appreciate the positive ones. And that's what I'm really getting here. And it's like, I don't think this person sees you as too sensitive or too emotional. If you do see that within yourself or think that within yourself, that may not resonate with everyone. Remember, this is a general reading. But yeah, okay, we have the 10 of air at the back of the deck. I don't know if I showed you. So now let's use your tarot cards. So spirit guides of pile 2. So we have the 4 of wands with dendritic agate. Okay. What they may not like about themselves that their person likes, the person on their mind. We have temperance with lepidolite. We have the tower with black tourmaline. We have the king of swords with black spinel. We have the queen of cups with morganite. Some of you may relate to pile 1. They had the 4 of wands and the queen of cups. We have the 4 of swords with amber. We have the page of swords with desert rose. We have the magician with jade. One last card. Okay, 2 of swords with obsidian and the star with moldavite. Now at the back of the deck we have the 9 of coins with budstone. Okay, so in your pile there's definitely a feeling here of maybe not liking the fact that we feel things so deeply. Some of you, like I said, may relate to pile 1 because there are some similar elements here, and if you're from pile 1, hi. But I feel here with Queen of Cups there's like a feeling of I don't want to feel so deeply. I don't want to care so much. Why do I have to love so hard with the love card? Why do I have to be such this pure soul, like with the swan, because I see swans as pure souls. Like, why can't I just be mean back to that person that was mean to me? Or why can't I just not care as much about people that don't necessarily care about me? Why do I always have to care the most? Why do I always have to love so hard? Why do I always have to feel things so deeply? And maybe sometimes, like there's this feeling of wanting to cry in public or in certain places, or like doing it, but then feeling like we have to hide our feelings. Or feeling like it's a burden, but it's not. And what I want to say here is this person loves that you love so deeply. They see you to have such a beautiful heart, and they see you to have such a pure soul. And yes, it may be true that those people that don't care about you as much don't deserve that. But what I believe is that there are others in the world that have a big heart just like you, and that would appreciate the heart you have and the love you give. There could be other people in the world that feel exactly the same way as you and would wish there was someone in their life like you. So what I really feel here is this person loves that you feel so deeply. This person loves your sensitive side. This person loves your big heart. And they love that you have such a pure soul. Okay, so 4 of Swords here, Amber. I was feeling kind of Like when I was starting your reading, I was feeling like I just want to sit here and do nothing. Um, so Four of Swords confirms what that feeling was. So maybe for some of you, there's this feeling like whenever you rest or whenever you do let yourself have, some time out for yourself and some self-care, or to just do something for you or to enjoy something for you. There's this feeling of, should I be enjoying? Should I be resting? Should I be resting? Should I be enjoying? Should I be taking time off? Or maybe there's this feeling of like, I'm too resting, or I'm not determined enough. I'm not ambitious enough. I'm not doing enough. Like I'm resting too much, or I'm procrastinating too much, or like I'm not getting things done, or I'm not getting things done fast enough. So there is a feeling here of that, and maybe feeling like we're not enough because we're resting, because we're taking some time to ourselves, feeling like we should, I don't know, just be robots and go, go, go. I don't mean to laugh, but I deal with this myself too. So it's like, I feel like this person sees you to be someone very relaxed, to be someone that maybe likes to take things slower. They see you to be someone that kind of goes with the flow of life and follows your feelings and emotions. The reason I say so is because here in love we have water, and she's in water in the Queen of Cups. And when I think of water, I think of following our emotions. Even here we have sacral chakra energy. Sacral chakra energy is following our emotions, following our cycles. And especially if you're a woman, you know how our different cycles can cause us to feel more tired during different cycles. Like I see that, and I'm seeing the sacral chakra and our feelings. Like if we don't feel like doing this, we shouldn't necessarily force ourselves, and we should let that feeling take us to something that is fun with the Four of Wands, so that we can, how do I put this in words, Spirit? Okay, so today, let's say you're at work and you're feeling really tired and fatigued today. But now you feel bad for feeling tired and fatigued. And it's like, I should push hard even though I feel tired and fatigued. But then how about instead we allow ourselves to feel that, because we're human and we have our cycles, and we're not always feeling the best every day. We're not even feeling the most energized or motivated every day, because even I deal with struggles of motivation. But then it's like we take it a little bit slow. We honor our feelings, and then we go home. We're gentle to ourselves. We give ourselves something nice to make ourselves feel better, some self-care, something that treats ourselves, whether it's a nice long bath, a nice glass of wine, a beer, watching some TVs or some series, and eating popcorn. I don't know what it is, but doing something to treat yourself. And then maybe you notice the next day you wake up and you feel more energized because you gave yourself that time to rest. You honored what your body was telling you. And now the next day you have more energy to put in more effort at work. Or let's say today you don't feel like gymming and you've been gymming every day this week. And it's like now you're almost telling yourself, I have to push myself. I have to do this. Otherwise, calling ourselves things like lazy or this or this or that. And it's like we can't rest. When we think of resting, it makes us anxious. And then we push ourselves. And then that's like almost going against our bodies. I'm just realizing this now even. Sometimes I do this, where we force ourselves and we push. But instead, if we just flow with that and allow ourselves to have a bad day, or to have a day where we just rest and where we just honor what our body needs, because our bodies aren't machines. So this person sees you as a person that follows your feelings. So if you follow those feelings of yours and honor those feelings of yours and honor the cycles of your body and your emotions and what your body is telling you, then you would overall live a more balanced life with temperance. And overall, you would find more fun in the things that you do without forcing it, but rather flowing with it. The Four of Wands. This person likes that you're so relaxed. They like that you're able to honor that side of you, or that you're learning to. Okay. There's also something here about the body. Since that card wanted to pop out body and mind, maybe there's a belief here for some of you of like, my body's not good enough, or I don't look this way, or I don't look this way. I have certain flaws here in my body. I don't like it. But maybe this person loves your body just the way it is, finds it beautiful just the way it is. And maybe some of you have beliefs like, I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough knowledge to do this thing I want to do, or I'm not good enough to do this thing I want to do. Would I even be smart enough to make decisions here? Or a sense of like imposter syndrome, like if I was to do this, would I even make it? Because do I even have enough knowledge? Am I even good enough at this? So maybe something about questioning our intelligence, or questioning our talents, or questioning if we're able to be good enough at something, at doing something. And what this person sees in you with the Page of Swords is that even if you feel that way, that you're so smart, okay? They feel like you're very intelligent. They feel like you're very smart. They feel like your body is beautiful the way it is. And it's like this person sees you as maybe you don't necessarily notice it yourself. You are intelligent, you are smart, but maybe there may be some things you're overlooking. Because you have emotional intelligence. You're top notch at that. You have intelligence of wisdom. This is my intuitive pile with psychic gifts. And the wisdom within your soul makes you smart. You have a lot of past life knowledge and wisdom, like I said, that makes you smart. So even if you don't know all the contents of the books in the world, this person sees you as smart, sees you as intelligent. Okay, so another thing I see here, for some of you, it may be the belief like we're too smart, we're too intelligent, like no one gets us, no one gets our brain. Like some of you have an inner genius, but maybe you don't like that about yourself. Maybe you don't like that you're so smart, because maybe you feel like you can't necessarily relate to certain people in your life. But this person sees it as those people around you get the opportunity to learn from you. And that's not a bad thing. That's something that's a huge talent of yours. It's a huge genius of yours with a star. It's something that can change your life in the best possible way, and it's something that makes you shine. Okay, for others of you, it's your spirituality. Like maybe there's this feeling of, I can't show that I'm spiritual, I can't show that I'm psychic, or that I am intuitive, or that I like to watch readings, or that I'm more on the spiritual side, because even here we have these crystal balls, or that I like to manifest, or that I like to use crystals. Even here we see crystals. Because what if people don't like me? What if people think I'm weird, or this or that? And it's like this person loves that about you, loves your spiritual side, loves that you're in touch with spirituality. You know why? Because this person sees you as the bridge between heaven and earth. That's what I'm getting here. You have an innate and beautiful gift and talent here of being able to really channel messages and really feel into things and really understand certain things on the more spiritual level and transform it into even more knowledge and wisdom. And that's something this person sees as a beautiful gift, as something that makes you shine. Whereas for others of you, it's like you have that, but it's not necessarily not wanting to show that to the world, but it's like, is it good enough? Or like doubting that intuition. But it's like this person sees your intuition as so mind-blowing, as so strong and so powerful. Okay? I feel like with the butterflies and transformation here, there's a feeling of you, and with the tower and the Moldavite on the star, I feel like you've gone through intense healing journeys within your life, intense alchemization of whatever pain, trauma, or chaos you went through in your upbringing or in your earlier life, or even maybe a few years ago. Like, I see you healing from certain things that have happened to you where you didn't expect it, and it really hurt you. It really felt like things were falling apart at that moment in your life. And maybe for some of you, it's like this feeling of, why did my life have to be like this? Why did I have to go through all this pain and all this chaos and all this trauma? And why did I have to go through this? Because it's not fair that I have to go through all these things as one person, but other people get easier lives. And then I must heal all of this that like others have put onto me, or that I had to go through, but I didn't choose. And now I have the responsibility of healing it and changing my life and transforming this. Otherwise, I stay stuck in this forever. And it's like this feeling of, why did I have to go through this? Or why did I have to go through these intense transformations? So maybe some of you feel that way, but it's like, and not to invalidate your feelings, I'm just reading this person's perspective. I'm seeing this person perceive it like the amount of transformations you've gone through makes you not only one, so powerful. You're able to heal yourself and go within and look within your emotions. Not many people can do that. Some people go their whole lives without healing and they sweep things under the rug. I've seen that myself, like in people. Some people don't want to feel their feelings, run away from it. So that takes a lot of bravery to look into those feelings and to be able to heal that within ourselves and to be able to transform that within ourselves. So it's like this person likes that about you, likes that you're so brave, likes that you're so strong, likes that you're so resilient, and that you have this ability to heal yourself, because it's like this person sees you as nothing can break you. Nothing can break you down. If you've been through all of this and you're still standing strong today, like nothing can defeat you. You're like the phoenix rising. So this person sees you as so strong, and likes that about you. Okay, so for others of you, it's not the feeling of disliking having to go through the healing, but maybe disliking that you transformed so much. Because it's a feeling of like wanting to keep ourselves small, or maybe not wanting people to know how much we've transformed, to feel like, you know how some people, like, if they see you are good at something, or if they see this thing in your life has gotten to a place you wished, and then there's jealousy, and then we feel like we have to make ourselves small to not make other people uncomfortable. I see an energy like that, but it's like this person sees it as, you've achieved something so big. You've transformed something so big within yourself and within your life. I mean, we have Moldavite here, which is you completely changing your whole world around by having faith and believing, but also by healing and alchemizing something within yourself so that you can attract the things you do want with the magician. in your subconscious mind, releasing certain things so that you can attract that. And it's like this person sees that as a huge accomplishment, you know? Another thing here, messenger of air. Some of you have recently learned to hold stronger boundaries and to be a little bit more firm. And maybe that's something you don't necessarily like in yourself yet. It's maybe for some of you, I don't know where you are in your journey of this, but maybe for some of you, it's extremely difficult to speak up for yourself or to have boundaries. Maybe for others of you, it was extremely hard in the beginning, but now it's getting easier. But now every time you do it, there's this guilty feeling. Or maybe for others of you, it's like, I don't like how outspoken I am because there's this belief of I'm too outspoken. I have too many strong boundaries. Like, is anyone ever going to want to be around me? And not that those feelings aren't valid, but it's like the person you are asking about sees it as different, where they like that trait within you. They like that you're able to speak up for yourself, whether it's something you're growing into or something you've already had always within you. They like that you're able to stick up for yourself in that way and speak your truth. Okay, for others of you, maybe it's this feeling of, I don't like the way my life has turned out. I don't like the choices I've made in life. Or maybe not feeling like the choices you made were good enough or led to something you wished. Because sometimes, like, we maybe expect a choice to lead us towards something we wish and we expect something out of it, and then it doesn't happen the way we expected, or our life doesn't exactly happen the way we expected, or maybe we feel like we've been too indecisive here and then that thing we wanted didn't come to us, or maybe we feel like we've made wrong decisions in our lives that didn't create the life we wanted. There's something about that here. So, the way this person sees it is, you may not fully see what those decisions have led to yet. So, for those where you feel like maybe you've been a little bit too indecisive in your life of which direction to go in, or you don't know what you want to do yet, where it's the feeling of indecisiveness, the one thing I'll say is, we're never too old to do something, and it's never too late to try something. And even if we make a certain choice and it doesn't turn out the way we expect, or we don't like it the same, we always get to choose again. Yes, it may have quote unquote wasted our time, or been something where we made the wrong decision, or been something where we don't necessarily like the outcome of that, because maybe it wasted our money, or it wasted our time, or it wasted our effort. That's the way we perceive it. But think about it. You learned more about yourself. You learned what decisions you don't like. You learned what you don't like. You learned that, oh, okay, maybe I learned some wisdom from this. Maybe I went on a little bit of a journey here from this decision. Maybe I met some people by making this decision that I wouldn't have met before if I didn't make this decision. Do you get what I mean? So I'm seeing it like that. And then we always get to choose again. And maybe the universe knows where maybe we take something we learned from that choice where we believe it was the wrong choice. But maybe something later on happens in our life where we need that wisdom, or we need that knowledge from that quote unquote wrong choice. Does that make sense? So we learn and we grow, and then we create more in the future. So for those that are like that, it's like this person doesn't see it as bad, this indecisiveness. They see it as, you can always get back up and try again. And that, like, for some of you, if this is a relationship, and like, let's say it's something simple like, I don't know where to eat. Maybe this person likes deciding for you and likes being the one leading and in charge. I don't know. I'm picking up on that for some of you. And for others of you, maybe this person doesn't dislike that about you, but why do they like that? Okay, for some of you, this person believes that you're someone that is more multidimensional, where you aren't necessarily supposed to just do one thing or choose one thing. For others of you, this person believes you will find your way to find yourself and understand the life you do want to create and the daily things you do want to create in your life, in your daily life, so that you will know what you wish for. And then when you know what you wish for, you're going to know what to choose. For others of you where this is not indecisiveness, where it's like, I made the wrong choice, same thing I said back there, but different. For others of you, if it's like, okay, I made certain choices in my life and I don't like the way my life turned out, where I expected something and something different has happened. It's like the way I'm seeing it in the cards is this person sees you to be someone creating your reality with Magician. And even if it isn't the dream reality you thought you would have, Moldavite is a crystal that takes things out of our life that aren't meant for us. It's very chaotic, but it's something that brings transformation. And sometimes we think we want something, but the universe, God, whatever higher power you believe in, knows what we need. So let's say, for example, you wanted to have a life that looks like something specific, but you have another type of life and you don't like that. Not to invalidate that, but it's like sometimes beautiful things come out of the unexpected. I was watching Reiki Healing Hope ASMR. I love her Reiki channel, and she was talking about how sometimes the unexpected can lead to the most beautiful things because we aren't forcing it or we aren't necessarily expecting something from it, but sometimes the unexpected can bring beautiful blessings that are even greater than what we could have imagined. So I'm seeing that here, and I'm seeing, okay, if it is like that, that's okay, but you do have the choice to create something different here. Where are you unsatisfied in your life? You do have the choice to make something different out of it. And like, let's say you are at a job you don't necessarily like, for example. You can change career paths no matter your age. It's what you choose to create out of that. And I know it's easier said than done, but there's planning involved with things like that. Or, we can plan ahead. We can make a secure step where it doesn't feel unsecure. You get what I mean? Okay, so Four of Wands and Temperance. Some of you believe like you're too peaceful, or that you're too patient, that you're like too loving or too patient, too easygoing, too free-flowing, and too peaceful to be around people where they're more like outgoing and fun and enjoying certain things. Or maybe some of you believe that you're like focusing too much on fun things and not focusing on things in your life that are going to get you far in the long run. So I guess whatever one you relate to most would be here, but it's like this person sees it in the opposite way. So if you're more of this peaceful, easygoing, chilled, laid back person, go with the flow vibes, like this person sees you as someone that brings peace everywhere you go, kind of like the ocean, and that's needed in the world. Your light is needed in the world, and you, exactly the way you are a beautiful light, my pal twos. And you have no idea how much that gives to those, living in a world of chaos and you just being that peaceful light. For others of you, if you believe you're, too fun, too wild and free, too much focusing on pleasurable things or fun things and not focusing enough on things that will get you far in the long run. On some level, we can balance that out with temperance. There's always a time and place for things. But the way this person is perceiving it is not everyone's life looks the same. Not everyone's life is supposed to be the same. So, take the unnecessary expectations of yourself. Maybe you are meant to be living a life that is more carefree than structured. Do you get what I mean? And how can we work with that instead of against that? And if you're someone that is like more free in public, like maybe you go somewhere and you like to dance and you like to be a little bit more playful and be a little bit more of this person that likes to bring the fun in things. You're bringing that fun vibe to the world. You're bringing that celebratory vibe to the world. And that's what people need. And if people judge you for being that way, then I'm almost hearing Spirit joke that they have a stick up their ass. Like, you're meant to have fun. I mean, I saw an Instagram reel that was like, we're not supposed to take life seriously because when you look at nature, everything goes with its own flow. We're not supposed to take life seriously, but we live in a world where we've made everything so serious, and when you really think about it in the higher perspective, how many lives have we lived as spiritual beings? Do we remember the accomplishments we did in past lives? No. So like why care about it, That's what I want to say here. And for some of you, it's this feeling of, I can't be myself in public. I can't show my authentic self because what if people dislike it? But this person believes that your personality, your traits are beautiful as they are. And whoever gets to be around you, it's a blessing to them, It's a blessing to be around you, to love you, to be your friend, because that's what makes you you. And if someone doesn't like you for you being you, then they shouldn't be in your life. You know what I mean? And then make way for those that do truly like you for being you. So this is what I have for you, pal 2. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pal number 3s. If you chose this Larimar crystal in the Chrysalis Tarot, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what you may not like about yourself that the person on your mind likes about you. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. But before we get started with your reading, I'd just like to thank and give a quick word to today's sponsorship, Keen. Many of you have asked me recently for personal readings, but unfortunately I'm not available for any right now. So I have brought you the next best thing, Keen. Keen connects you with gifted psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers like myself who are available 24 hours a day. So you can always get a reading whenever it suits you. All you have to do is create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. These readers each have unique specialties designed to provide a deeper understanding of your situation. You can choose whichever reader best suits your needs, and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. Getting confirmation or a second opinion from someone who can give you a straightforward answer is always best. And as a tarot reader, I can tell you that it is very hard reading tarot for myself sometimes, as sometimes it doesn't make sense or is unclear. So even I resort to Keen. So let me tell you a little bit about some of my recent experience on Keen. I asked about my love life with my person. She explained to me how devoted he is and that our connection is only getting stronger and better, helping us to build a strong foundation that will only deepen moving into the holidays. She also mentioned us making future plans together no later than February, but we've already started, so I'm very excited to see what unfolds then. She also mentioned that he's very loyal towards the ones he loves and that he doesn't even know what he did to get so lucky to be with me. She mentioned that I changed his world and that he feels like a little kid around me, which is so cute. Lastly, she said that she can see me getting married with him in the future and us having a home together where everyone will always gather together. The love reading I got was very beautiful and sweet, and every detail mentioned was so accurate and on point. Though you can get any type of reading from these readers depending on what you are looking for. I'm so grateful for the reading I got from Keen through their amazing and gifted psychic tarot readers. That's why it's still best to get a personal psychic reading because it is directed only to your energies. Now here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 10 minutes for only $1.99. Go to trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description to save big on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this beautiful opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So getting back to your reading, we're going to start out by using the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle. So Spirit Guides on my pile number 3. Spirit Guides on my pile number 3 is what they may not like about themselves, but the person on their mind likes within them. So we have Peach Selenite with Universal Chakra and inside card 19. Some of you may relate to pile 2. Yeah, there's a lot of similar energies. We have Labradorite with Self Note and Boundaries at the back of the deck. Now we're going to use the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle deck. So may I please have one card for what their person likes in them, but they may not like in themselves for pile 3. We have the Cat with Independence and Healthy Boundaries. Card 18. And then at the back of the deck, we have Partnership. Now, I'm going to use 2 tarot decks as oracle decks, and then we're going to use your tarot deck that you chose. So this is the Good Tarot. May I please get one card for what they may not like about themselves, but the person on their mind likes about them. So we have the 5 of Water, 5 of Cups. At the back of the deck, we have the 2 of Earth. Now we're going to use the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have the 8 of... we have the 8 of Cups, the 8 of Water. There's another card with the 9 of Water. I'm just going to keep it in mind because there's no space here. And at the back of the deck, we have Body and Mind. Okay, so now let's use the tarot deck that you chose. So Spirit Guides on my pile number 3s. Spirit Guides on my pile number 3s. It just started raining all of a sudden. It's 2:22 on the clock. So interesting. Maybe there's something about emotions here. I know that definitely came out in all 3 piles. Like feeling like we feel things too much. Okay, so Spirit Guides of pile 3. May I please look into traits they like about pile 3 that they may not like in themselves for the person on their mind. So we have the Wheel of Fortune. We have Aradin, I don't know how to pronounce her name, sorry, with Death. We have the 2 of Scrolls, which is the 2 of Swords. Yeah, a lot of you may relate to pile 2. We have the 2 of Stones with the 2 of Pentacles. We have the Companion with the King of Spirals. So this is the King of Wands. We have the 10 of Mirrors, which is the 10 of Cups. We have the Weaver with the Queen of Scrolls, which is the Queen of Swords. We have the Sojourner with the King of Mirrors, King of Cups. We have Bella Rosa with the Devil. Clarify the Devil, please. We have the Nine of Stones, Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so Four of Cups wants to pop out. I'm just going to put it here. At the back of the deck, we have the Healer. Okay, so pile 3. For some of you, there is a belief here, like, I feel things too deeply. I shouldn't be disappointed here in this person because they did this. I should be okay with it. Like, I should just be okay. Like, I shouldn't be getting sad over this, or I shouldn't be hurt over this. Like, there is this feeling like I shouldn't feel this. I shouldn't feel anger here. I shouldn't feel disappointment here. I shouldn't feel frustration here. But the truth is, we as human beings are meant to feel. The fact that you feel makes this person, it's something this person loves about you. The fact that you feel things so deeply. And it doesn't make you unbalanced or ungrounded. It doesn't make you chaotic. It doesn't make you emotionally unbalanced. That's what I want to say here. This person likes that you feel. They think you're balanced because you feel. Certain people that push their feelings under the rug or are scared to feel their feelings. You know, when they look at us feeling, and maybe you've had certain people around you that would say you're too emotional or you're too sensitive, because in those situations or cases where you would have set a boundary or spoken your feelings and your truth out, they didn't want to be called out or take accountability. So they turned it back on you. With the Mirror, that's what I'm seeing. They turned it back on you to make you believe that you're wrong for saying how you feel. That's what I get from the Queen of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Devil. With the Mirror here, like turning it back on you and making you feel like the bad one, making you feel unbalanced, making you feel chaotic for just caring or for just feeling. But like we see in the Mermaid here, you're someone that feels deeply, you know, and that's something I've seen as a theme within all 3 piles. I think we as humans have built the shame around feelings, but it's what's human to feel. So this person loves that you feel. Okay, the next thing I see here is something as well, like with anger towards people that have done you wrong. Like, I shouldn't feel this way. I shouldn't be angry. I should let go of this. I should be compassionate. You know, I should be loving. What I want to say here is it takes time to get over certain feelings like anger to those that have done us wrong, to those that have hurt us in some way, disappointed us in some way. And even I have sometimes dealt with feelings like that towards people that, you know, you would consider situations with the devil here. Like, I feel like they really did you wrong, or they really hurt you in a way that was unfair. And your anger is warranted. Your feelings are valid, pile 3. You're allowed to feel angry for that. And there is no such thing as should or shouldn't, because we move through feelings in our own time, in our own way. So allow yourself to feel that. Anger is a powerful emotion that allows us to see what is truly not okay, where our boundaries have been crossed. And certain people get angry at certain things, whereas another person won't. So that just means that's where this person's boundaries lie. It doesn't mean that that other person's going to have the same boundaries. They may have opposite boundaries that person A doesn't have. Do you get what I mean? So our anger is a powerful thing that allows us to create change where we are unsatisfied or where we feel something is unjust. And this is how your person sees you, where you're beginning to create stronger boundaries. You're beginning to create healthier boundaries. And if that's something that's a little bit scary for you, where it's like there's this belief like, if I say this, I'm no longer this kind person, or I'm being rude, or I'm being a bad person by sticking up for myself. It's like this person doesn't see that. They see it as so beautiful that you're learning to stand up for yourself and speak up for yourself. For others of you, it's like this belief like, I should be this loving person and I shouldn't speak my truth. Like, I'm too outspoken. I'm too independent. I'm too much of a person that has boundaries. My boundaries are too harsh. And if that's so, like, I'm no longer kind or I'm no longer loving. Some of you may not think that way, but I see that for some of you. Just take it as it resonates. If certain parts don't resonate, then it's okay. But I'm just seeing that, like, where this person doesn't think you're too outspoken, thinks that's a wonderful thing that you can speak your truth and, let others see what your truth is. And that doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make you wrong. That doesn't make you annoying. That doesn't make you anything that you may say to yourself or may not. It makes you a person with feelings, and it makes you a person that is expressing those feelings to create change where we may feel unsatisfied or disappointed. And it shows self-respect. Okay, another thing I see here is this feeling like I'm too nurturing. I get that from the Two of Pentacles here with the mama bear. Like, I'm too nurturing, I'm too protective over those I love. I don't think that's wrong. I don't think that's bad. This person loves that about you. Or maybe even sometimes bears remind me of hibernation, like what I said to Pal too, like I shouldn't rest. I shouldn't take some time out for myself, because then it's like we call ourselves all these names, like lazy, like this, and like we're not going to have stability or money or financial things. Like, I don't know, I'm just guessing here with the Nine of Pentacles. Or it's like I'm not keeping up with what I need to do because I'm taking some time off to rest. Then I'm not stable, then I'm not this. It gives me that type of energy for some of you, like I shouldn't have to take some time out to rest. And that's not how this person sees you. In nature, bears, animals need to hibernate. They don't live like us. And that's a need for them. And if nature has its cycles, and if, the plants can fall off in winter and grow back in spring, then you can have one bad day. So this Eight of Water in specific, this tarot deck is different to the Rider-Waite. It talks about gratitude and being happy and things like that. So for some of you with the mixture of this, it's like, I shouldn't feel disappointed, I should feel happy. Or for others of you, it's a separate energy where it's like, I'm too happy, I'm too outgoing, I'm too playful, I don't take things seriously enough. Like, I don't know, I'm getting that for some of you. Or I'm not grateful for what I already have. I just want more and more and more. I just want more of this physical thing or this thing in my life, and I'm not satisfied with what I already have. So I see opposites of those ends of the spectrum for some of you, like where this person doesn't see that. So if you're on the side of the spectrum where it's like you believe you're too happy, where you believe you're too much in this energy of gratitude and too cheerful, where maybe you believe the world thinks it's annoying, or maybe you believe it's like unnecessary, I don't think this person sees it that way. I think this person sees your happiness and joy as something that brings others joy, as something that is so lighthearted and is so needed within this world. Have you heard of that quote, laughter is the best medicine? I see you being an example of that because this man has healing hands here. For others of you where I spoke about not feeling grateful enough or not feeling like maybe you have certain things and it's like I should be grateful for what I have, like my life is not that bad, or um I'm so unsatisfied with what I already have. I want more, 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 and then believing we're bad for that. For those where it's like I should be grateful for what I have, I see it more so like this person viewing you like your pain is your pain, and even if another person's pain may seem greater than yours, it does not mean that you should be grateful. You know, maybe you are grateful for certain things in your life, but it doesn't mean that you're ungrateful to admit certain feelings you have. It doesn't make you bad or ungrateful. It just makes you human. That goes through feelings and emotions. And it's great that you can express that. For those of you where maybe you believe like you always want more and more and more and you're never fulfilled, yes, on some level, maybe that can be true. And I'm not justifying it, but what I will say is society teaches us to be consumers. Society teaches us to always want the next thing and the next thing. I mean, look at iPhones. There's an iPhone out every please don't sue me, iPhone. But you get what I mean? Or fashion. Every season there's every how much are there like these trends where now this is not a trend anymore. We should throw this away. Now we have to get this trend. Like society teaches us to be consumers, to always want more and more and more and more. And it's been conditioned within us from birth, from being a human. So can we really blame ourselves for sometimes feeling that way? And what I want to say is we're human beings living a human existence. And I'm not justifying it because on some level, like we can work through this and we can learn to find more gratitude and learn to find more peace with what we already have, but also realize that monetary things and physical things aren't measurements of happiness. We need to find that happiness within, and searching for that outside of ourselves isn't going to give us the happiness we think we're going to get from it. It's like a voidless thing. You know, when you're a kid and you get a new toy and you think you're going to have so much fun, and then a few months later you're bored of it? Monetary things, yes, they're fun. Yes, they bring us like something new, but they don't bring us happiness. So don't feel bad for feeling like this, but rather learn to find that happiness within. But this person sees you as someone that is on the rise to success and is on the rise to using that feeling of wanting more to get more for yourself. So I'm also seeing it from their perspective. Some of you may believe that you want too much in love, or that you're too loving with the Ten of Cups, the companion. Maybe believing you're too passionate about the things you love. So if you believe that you want too much in love, that you have too much of a high standards, or that what you want is not possible or not out there, remember that you weave your reality, and remember that as much as you're a big lover, there's also other people out there in the world that may feel the same. And this is not to invalidate you, but to give you hope, to tell you that there's people out there in the world that want a love as big as you. And there's people that would really like, Spirit is joking and saying they die to give you that love. Like they do anything to give you that love. so you're not wanting too much. And if this person gives you a lot of love and you believe that maybe it's like you're not deserving of that, you are worthy of that. You are worthy of giving and receiving love, the same type of love you give out. And you're not too loving at all. You wanting that companionship and you wanting that love around you is a normal human thing. We as humans used to live in tribes. We were never meant to be alone. And it's normal to want human companionship because love is what is truly important. Yes, we can have self-love, and yes, those things are beautiful, but love is something we as humans desire and crave naturally. And if it's some things where it's like, I'm too passionate about this thing I love, or I'm too passionate about this hobby I have, like no one likes this, or I'm weird for liking this or having an interest in this, or I'm weird for being intuitive or liking spiritual things, or I'm seeing someone here like anime or like those collectible things. I don't know what they're called, like those collectible toys, or have certain interests that are more quirky or unique. And it's like, I'm too passionate about this. I shouldn't like this as much, or I shouldn't be into spirituality as much, or I don't like the fact that I'm so intuitive because no one gets me, no one gets like my spiritual side. This person loves your interests, loves that about you because you found something you're passionate about, and that should be celebrated, you know? And I even get that with the unicorn here, like maybe believing we're too much like in this magical realm, too much into spirituality and too much into the mystical, even with the mermaid. And I don't think that's true because there can be balance here. And if that's an interest of yours, that's a passion of yours, that's an interest of yours. So go towards that. We're not meant to be the same as humans or have the same interests or likes. And if that's something you like, then that's something you like. That's not something negative. This person likes the fact that you have those interests. Two of Swords, the Death card. I'm getting maybe some of you have been through like divorces or have maybe done a job for like 30 years, or maybe made certain decisions if you're still younger, where it's like that ended in a way where I didn't expect it to end, in a way that I'm unsatisfied, and I made this choice and it ended in a way I'm not satisfied with. Like, what was the point of that? What was the point of wasting all that time? And it's like, I see it as you went through that for a reason with the Wheel of Fortune. So, for example, let's use the job as an example. Let's say you worked for 30 years at a place and eventually left it to start something new. And it's like, what was the point of that? Maybe you learned some wisdom from that job and maybe you enjoyed that at the time. But humans change. Things change in our lives. The Wheel of Fortune is all about change sometimes. So, there's a purpose for everything. That's what the Wheel of Fortune's about. But when that purpose ends, then we go towards something new. Change is inevitable. And it doesn't mean that it was worthless or that it was useless. And even if it didn't turn out the way you expected, there is magic in that because now we get to create and weave something new. Now we get to go on a new journey where we find something else. Because there's always a purpose for everything, even if it's like people in our life. Like maybe if you had a divorce, for example, for some of you, maybe sometimes those connections end and it's not forever, but now it doesn't mean you didn't love that person, and it doesn't mean that that's a failed marriage. It doesn't mean that at all. Sometimes people grow, sometimes people change, sometimes in a spiritual lens, there's a purpose for that connection. And once that purpose is fulfilled, that connection ends. Or sometimes we outgrow the people we love, and that's okay. Because life is ever changing, and sometimes we as humans, even me, we hold on to people, places, things, especially people, because we want it to last forever because we love them. But it's like sometimes we can't do that. Just like, how this is one thing I've tried to come to accept. Like, even if you are married to someone, one day either you or them are gonna die. Like, we all die as human beings. So we can't hold on to anyone forever. Like, everything has its cycles, and that's what the Wheel of Fortune is about. Or maybe it's something about like not being able to accept change or move towards change because we fear change. But then this person likes the fact that you've been able to go through that, and now the fact that you're able to learn from this and grow from it, you know. And if you're someone that doesn't necessarily like change or fears making certain decisions, because it's like, what if I'm unsatisfied with that choice? Or what if I make the wrong decision? It's like you're still going to learn from it. You're still going to grow from it. And even if it doesn't turn out the way we expect, moving towards what we feel we're passionate about is always the best for us, because it gives us an opportunity to fulfill some kind of purpose we create for ourselves, and it gives us an opportunity to create the life and weave the life we do want. And there's nothing wrong with that. So this is what I have for you, Pile 3. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye!